We are here to bring a new type of news show.
New insight, new style, new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bringing news just for you. It's Wednesday, May 29th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and this is News Generation. Joining us today is Woo Jun.
Lovely to be here.
Lovely to have you. And Im Sang-yeon.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. Now, as usual, we're going to start with our news feed, which covers different hashtags and news items that have been trending online over the past 24 hours. Have you ever heard of the finless porpoise? It's a species of toothed whale with a rounded head and a dark to pale gray color, currently classified critically endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. On Tuesday, the Korea National Park Service, under the Environment Ministry, announced that it found a mother finless porpoise with its offspring near Choyangdo Island in the Hallyeohaesang National Marine Park. The service plans to track these porpoises and work with the local government and community to protect their habitat. Now, moving on, staying in Korea, the country will soon open the world's first hotel on a bridge. The Sky Suite Hangang Bridge Seoul was unveiled to the press on Tuesday. It's 144 square meters, which is about 3/5 as big as a tennis court, so it's quite small, but it actually used to be a cafe located above the Hangangdaegu Bridge in Yongsan-gu District, central Seoul. The project was carried out by the Seoul City government and Airbnb. Up to 4 people can stay in the single-room hotel. Bookings can be made from July 1st, with the hotel opening on July 16th. The final price will be decided this month, but a night stay is expected to cost around 340,000 to 500,000 Korean won, approximately 250 to 368 US dollars. Finally, continuing our discussion yesterday on the alleged workplace harassment involving star dog trainer Kang Hyung-wook, there's an ongoing online debate. Former employees of Kang's dog training business have accused Kang of spying on their company's intranet messenger. They claim that Kang and his wife looked through conversations made using the company's messenger app. The couple have rebutted these accusations, stating that they checked the chats after noticing unusually high app usage on a certain day. They found malicious, derogatory messages about their son and other colleagues. While the couple admitted it was wrong to look through these messages, they said they had warned employees to refrain from private conversations on work platforms during office hours. Now, regarding this issue, some argue that since it's an office messenger, employees should have been aware the company could monitor it at any time, while others believe looking without consent is illegal. So here in the studio, where do you stand on this controversy?
Yeah, so I don't want to choose side here because this debate has been going on for days
Right.
now. But I do think that the business owner has the right to check the corporate messenger applications because the intranet messenger of a company belongs to the company's property, just
Right.
like the desktops and the printers. And even if you think about the coffee sticks and the tea bags in the snack bars, those are all belong to the company's
Right.
properties. You shouldn't take them to your home. So here in this case, if it was just a regular chatting app like Kakao,
Right.
this wouldn't have caused any stir in the first place.
Right.
But because it is a corporate-owned messenger app, and because the employees had chats about derogatory and malicious gossips in the chatting application, this caused the issue. Now, the purpose of these corporate messenger app is to have an open discussion platform where the employees can talk about their works, not about their private gossips or
Right.
other chattings behind one's backs. So I do understand and I do acknowledge that Kang is the business owner here. So he has the every right to review the chatting apps. And if the employees were really innocent and if they were really confident about what they have mentioned in the chat, then they wouldn't have actually raised this
Right.
issue in the first place.
Right, and I think you made a very good point because these messages and comments were made on an office messenger, which, as you mentioned, are supposed to be used for work-related discussions or conversations. Now, what are your thoughts on this, Heejun?
Well, I think if the purpose of using this platform, which is called the Neighbor Works, to communicate the contents of the works as a business messenger, I totally agree with that. I think the manager or boss could check the contents and control of the system of it. But this can be said like illegal, and I think no doubts at all. But here's the points on the tables that manager can assess the member's data within the permitted range. And in this case, the manager must seek the consent following act in advance, which is the fact that members' data can be assessed and the data can be monitored and used and disclosed before using these app neighbor works. And there is also the provisions that neighbor is not responsible for this, and any dispute if someone or a member disagree. So which I think, in other words, all the boss may have this responsibility and also the authority to handle this issue. So I think it's still open to debates.
Right, it's definitely open to debate. Both sides really have valid points. So we'll have to see how this controversy or situation unfolds going on. And that was our news feed for this Wednesday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. We previously mentioned on NewsGen that May is a month of festivals here in Korea. And actually the annual Miss Korea competition, the largest and oldest beauty pageant here in the country, is currently hosting its regional preliminary rounds. Now with most countries having competitions like this, have you ever watched these pageants? Well, let's first take a look at the screen to find out more. Swimwear or bikini rounds and the so-called perfect 36, 24, 36 measurements of a woman's body were once considered the ultimate standards in beauty pageants, which began in the 19th century. While outer appearance was often the predominant factor in deciding the winner, beauty pageants today seem to be broadening their definition of beauty. What are some changes that these competitions are introducing, and how do millennials and Gen Zs think about them? Right, so as likely mentioned in our VCR, beauty pageants have been criticized for focusing too much on superficial beauty and enforcing sort of a narrow definition of what is considered beautiful, such as having a perfect body size or a specific look. Now, so in response to this criticism, we are seeing some changes actually being made to this contest. So, Sang-hyuk, first of all, I heard that one of the big four pageants in the world recently underwent a significant change, right?
Yeah, so last month, a new twist occurred in the beauty industry. A 60-year-old woman living in Argentina named Alejandra Rodriguez was selected as the winner of this year's Miss Universe Buenos Aires. Now, in the interview, Miss Rodriguez said that she is honored to present a new paradigm shift in the beauty pageant market. She also added that she is unraveling a new era where a woman's value is more than just physical looks.
Right.
Now, in the past, these types of beauty contests had age requirements. Those aged between 18 to 28 was only allowed to apply for such contests. But starting from this year, the Argentina beauty pageant abolished these requirements, and any women from any age group can now participate in this Argentina's beauty pageant. So for me, I think the winning of this 60-year-old woman is giving inspiration to the women around the world, and that it can also broaden the inclusivity of the beauty contest.
Right, so this Miss Argentina, for our viewers, it's part of Miss Universe starting this year, banning the age limit of 18 and 28 that it used to have. So as you mentioned, it's definitely broadening the scope of what it defines as beauty. It's definitely becoming more inclusive. And it's not just this competition that is showing how beauty pageants are changing this way. So Heejun, can you think of any more examples that you'd like to share?
Well, as the generation changed, the standard and the value of the beauty pageant seems to be changing as well. The word first AI beauty pageants is held in the UK now, and character produced with the AI technology, and participant in the beauty pageant and some judges also said to be the AI. The big difference is that AI have to answer the question from the organizer, just like conventional beauty pageants,
right?
And to seeking artistry rather than the beauty. And the Miss Chunhyang contest, which is what I heard is used to known as the traditional Korea beauty pageant, has also changed from this year.
Right.
And they decided to receive the 14 participants, and it is the first time since its hosting 1956. And I think it seems to be they open to more participants and to see the more diversity as well.
Definitely, these competitions are turning more diverse. You mentioned how AI, there is a beauty pageant for AI. This traditional Miss Chunhyang contest is now receiving foreign nationals as participants as well. We didn't mention this, but there are also beauty pageants for men nowadays. So this is kind of like a global change that we're seeing, but let's focus a bit more about Korea now. My question to you, Heejun, you were actually the first runner up of Miss Korea 2019. So I think that a lot of our viewers will be curious about what the qualifications of a Miss Korea applicant should meet. So please tell us first about that.
Well, absolutely. But I don't think there are much differences between the 2019, the year when I was one of the participants.
5 years ago?
Right. Single woman, aged 18 to 28, no marriage or childbirth experience, obviously, and Korean nationality and local participant must live in the area for a certain period of the time or longer. And also the education is eligible if you are graduating high school or higher. But what I think is the point that the most important factor they should have is their own passions and their clear motivations to what they want to achieve with this pageant.
Right, so they must like have a story or like sort of like a big value that kind of push them to motivate them to participate in this competition. Right, so I think another question that a lot of people will be curious about is after you're selected as a winner, among the winners of a beauty pageant, you get to have a lot of opportunities to represent your country and like work for certain societal values as well. So you've been through this for the past 5 years. So I think that you could tell us briefly more about the pros and cons of participating and also serving as a beauty pageant winner.
Well, I think the biggest advantage was you can represent Korea as one of the winner in that year.
Right.
And also promote the various beauty activities as well. And you will also given the opportunity to participate in the world beauty pageants along with the public activities as well. In my case, I was able to represent my country, Korea, within one of the world beauty pageants called Miss Earth 2019. Yeah, so I was actually improving my national prestige with my own beauty. And also one of the things that I really liked about this pageant was it is Miss Earth. So they're seeking for the participants who truly think about this earth and environments, and judges see that how they're gonna using their ability and insight to make a more better, peaceful world and also better environments, which is sustainable, clear natured as well.
Right.
But however, there are also some disadvantages that when you see from the different view with different perspective, whenever you are exposed to various articles and media, you must receive the malicious comments or evaluations.
Right.
Of course, it's something that you don't have to pay much attention to, but depending on your personality, this can be a difficult process.
Definitely, there are both like pros and cons to everything. Now, as we're talking about Miss Korea, which is like as mentioned before, the largest and longest beauty pageant here in the country, these pageants used to draw a lot of viewers. It was like the talk of the town every year the competition took place, but they seem to have lost a lot of attention compared to the 90s or the early 2000s. So now to you, Sang-yeon, why do you think that we're seeing a loss in viewership, not only in Miss Korea pageants, but pageants around the world these days?
Yeah, as you mentioned, there are still ongoing debates about whether we should still continue these kind of beauty contests. So because some say that these beauty pageants compels a standardized concept of beauty to our society and also sexualize the candidates of such contests. And we can see this from the survey results taken in 2019, and almost 50% of the public supported the abolishment of beauty pageants back in the days. So if we think about the 80s and 90s where the nationwide Miss Korea was held, and also it was live streamed on TV as well.
Right.
But of course now with the change of our times and the thoughts of our people, these types of beauty pageants are still now in the midst of whether to go disappear or not.
Right. So despite these criticism and calls for these beauty pageants to become more inclusive and broaden their definition of beauty, as we mentioned earlier in our discussion, change is indeed happening. So Hee-jun, as someone who's participated in these contests, what are your thoughts on all these changes that we're seeing in these competitions?
Well, I'm happily to see these changes, but however, as I mentioned earlier, beauty pageants are changing. They're no longer to see only physical beauty standards as beautiful. And they are moving toward more inclusiveness and diversity as well. And it also sends us positive messages to the world through the environmental, educational, business, and peace activities with these generations. And MZs are positive about these changes. More and more people are applying and getting interest to join this beauty pageant as one of their favorite and new challenges.
Right, because our generation, as we previously talked about on News, they love to participate in challenges, so I kind of get the reason why. Now, expanding our discussion, we also asked our viewers what they think about these beauty pageants, and here's what 3 of them had to say. So if we look at the comments, Terrace Bell says, I think beauty pageants are more negative than positive. I've always thought beauty pageants were problematic as many start at a young age, but it also seems like it's becoming an increasingly toxic environment. Rex Alex says, while beauty pageants are great for entertainment purposes, they promote ideals of beauty of biological men and biological women that are not realistic at all. As such, beauty pageants can end up being both discriminatory and exploitative. Leon says it can promote cultural exchange and understanding and become a platform to raise awareness about social issues and engage in charitable activities. However, it promotes narrow and unrealistic standards of beauty. Many pageants have lacked diversity in terms of race, body size, and other factors. So it seems like our generation is really for these beauty pageants and its winners participating in social activities to make changes, needed changes in our society, but they are also calling on these pageants to have a more broader and inclusive definition of beauty. Now, as we mentioned before, though some beauty pageants have removed the age limit of participants, a lot of the participants of these beauty pageants are still millennials and Gen Zs. So how does our generation view these contests and more broadly the definition of beauty? To hear more opinions from our generation on this topic, here's a Vox Pop for you.
Actually, I think I do not fit into any beauty standards as well, and I try to be confident and learn to love myself the way I am and not to fit into any standards. So that's why I'm not really interested in these beauty standards.
Not really a particular reason. I just was never really attracted to watching.
Major broadcasters in Korea don't air them anymore, and I'm not interested enough to search for and watch them. I don't think there's a single definition of beauty, so I don't feel the need to watch something that enforces a specific idea of beauty.
The MissKorea pageant has certain beauty standards they require. Of course, since it's a competition, there are uniform criteria, but sometimes it might seem a bit harsh.
I really think they need some sort of change because I think that especially young people, they try to live up to the standards they give or they show, and nobody is perfect. Nobody can be like those, let's say, perfect bodies, perfect people, perfect faces, whatever.
I really like that idea because if you put like a limit of age, it makes like women feel like if they go past a certain age, they're not beautiful anymore. But it's considered like really like confidence boost to feel like even though you're past 30, which is definitely not old, you're still beautiful and you're still like during your young years, I think.
Beauty pageants used to focus on a single set of standards. Nowadays, there are various competitions that reflect diverse aspects of beauty, including psychological aspects. I think it's great that more inclusive pageants are emerging.
As we age, it doesn't mean we become less beautiful. So, I think it's a good thing that some pageants don't have age restrictions.
I feel like people from different skin color, different sizes, different races, everything. Especially I feel like the standard of just being kind of very tall and skinny and just that's kind of what's put as beautiful. But I feel like other people from different sizes and different colors could also want to be integrated.
I don't believe beauty is limited to a specific age group or gender.
When we think of beauty, we often emphasize physical appearance. However, I believe that if an individual feels satisfied with a certain aspect of themselves and considers it beautiful, then it truly is beautiful.
Right, some great valuable insights from our interviewees as you've just seen in the Vox Pop, and just looking at their answers, it really made me feel once again that our generation is wanting a beauty pageant or a contest where people are like truly empowered to embrace and love their authentic selves. So I think this is kind of like one good direction that these competitions could be heading to. Now ending off, there are, and I want to ask you guys, are there any changes that you'd like to see in these competitions moving on?
Well, it would be nice if more diverse beauty standards were presented and diversification of age and occupations and body size, etc. In addition, not only simply beauty promotion activity, but also it would be nice to see using this popularity and publicity to actively participate in the where we live activities and also environmental protections as well.
You mentioned about like relief activities and environmental protection activities. I think Hee-jun, as Miss Korea runner-up, you participated in these activities as well, right?
I'm trying to be, but I'm in the process. So, because Miss Korea made me the opportunity to open more into these relief sections, but to do more truly, I think you need to keep challenging yourself and making your abilities to fit with this true beauty standard.
And I think that you mentioned a very valid point about how you want like these beauty pageants to become more diversified. As we mentioned in our discussion earlier, there are now pageants for men. One of the big four beauty pageants have removed age restrictions. We're also seeing these pageants kind of allowing transgender participants to take part in it. There are also plus size pageants as well. We are seeing that change is already happening. So hope to see more changes that you've mentioned. Now to you, Sang-yeon, what are some changes that you'd like to see?
I think the beauty pageants can still give a positive note to our society. Maybe diversifying the criteria for the winners can also give a positive light, setting new definition of beauty standards in our society. And also, whenever we hold this kind of beauty contest, we get the donations. And by using this donation, we can give them to the socially marginalized groups, and also the participants of these contests can also participate in the social volunteer programs, giving a new positive note on this beauty contest and our society. So all in all, in the end, this beauty is not just about your physical looks, but about your mindsets and goodwill.
That's a really good quote. Beauty is not about your looks, it's about your mindset and will as well. So I hope our discussion today helped our viewers define or maybe think about what they think being beautiful is. And that's all the time we have for today. But NewsGen is here every day from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Korea time, bringing you more topics young people are talking about. Special thanks today to Lee-jun.
I was happy to be here.
Happy to have you. And Im Sang-yeon.
My pleasure.
And thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. We are News Generation.